Good morning, St. Francis. It is Tuesday, January the 12th, 2021, Tuesday of the first week in Ordinary Time. Coming to you on this sort of cold and formerly rainy morning. It seems to be breaking a little bit, or at least there's a respite from it. But coming to you from our chapel. As you can see, it is again still standing here in the front. I've not been here in a while, but it's still offline, but it is still standing over here. Lovely, beautiful as ever. Behind me is one of the holly bushes. Again, I said dot this campus all over the place. Beautiful holly bushes that kind of make St. Francis beautiful in so many ways. Let's see, over here. So, today's gospel, Jesus continues again, coming from his baptism in Jordan by John. Yesterday, he began the proclamation of the kingdom. Basically, the kingdom is at hand, the reign of God is at hand, and calling to himself some individuals who would become the first disciples. Today, he is in another town, in Capernaum, and he is met with amazement and astonishment and a spectacularly outrageous event, it seems. In Capernaum, he teaches in the synagogue, and there are many who are astonished at what he has to say, because he is a carpenter's son, and yet he speaks with authority, not like the scribes and Pharisees, which is an incredible indictment against those who were supposed to be learned in the law and learned in understanding the way of God. Jesus speaks in a way that is not been heard before, and people are astonished at the way that he speaks. It doesn't say that they're astonished at what he says, or that what he says seems to touch their hearts. They're just astonished at the way he speaks. Then there is an individual who comes into that synagogue who seems to be in the throes of some kind of possession, who screams at the top of his lungs, "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us?" And Jesus says, he rebukes this individual, or whatever is inside of him, tells whatever is inside of him to come out. It does, and then fame and amazement spread throughout the land. Again, two different encounters, both of them kind of spectacular, both of them immediately, again, impacting people's lives. But how? Is it just astonishment and amazement because something spectacular has happened? Is it just entertainment? Is it just some kind of outrageous event, some kind of controversial moment? Or is there something happening in these people's lives? Mark doesn't really say. But again, for us who hear this gospel today, as we move into ordinary time, descending from these heights of Christmas, is it just about amazement and astonishment? Do we want our God, our Jesus, to be some kind of magician, again, some kind of wizard, some kind of wonder worker, who could just leave us astonished, who could entertain us for a moment? Or do we want this Christ to touch our hearts, to transform our hearts, to make us think and act differently in this world? Because that is where the impact of faith occurs. Not in a magical Jesus who can grant wishes or who can cure things in our lives, but in a Christ who asks us to be more than what we are, who knows that we can be more than what we are, who move beyond the fears and the barriers that we ourselves set up, that make us incapable of seeing the wonder and the goodness in creation. As we move into this first week in ordinary time, recognize what Jesus does. He begins to open up people's minds to what it is that God truly wants from us, and begins immediately to heal the hurt that exists in this world. This is the God who we believe in. This is the Christ who comes to save us. This is the Jesus who transforms our lives into believers in this world. And may the Lord give you peace.